What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you my Ogdoadic Mitsurugi Genesys deck profile. This deck has a lot of capabilities of going extra wide. Even without an extra deck, it has a lot of capabilities of setting up some really good interactions, controlling the board, and being able to put up some pressure that your opponent can't really deal with on recursion. This deck has a lot of capabilities of utilizing both the Mitsurugi and Ogdoadic side to further set up this board. It's a very fun deck. It does have a lot of different combos and a lot of different capabilities you can go through. The one main thing that I'm trying to function and figure out for the extra deck is how to incorporate some reptiles, as sometimes you can be reptile locked. With this deck, there's a lot of issues with where you have a bunch of level 8s or a bunch of level 4s. So without King of the Feral Imps, you don't really have that capability of really searching, given the whole Mitsurugi spell that you're wanting to utilize. This deck overall has some really cool synchro plays, and you can go into, say, the Galaxy Eyes stuff if you want to for more damage. But right now, I just want to show you this main deck because I've just been having a lot more fun with just this deck without really any extra deck. So, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. For the Ogdoadic engine, I am running 3 Naya the Ogdoadic Remnant. This is a level 4 Dark Reptile. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, send 1 Light Reptile monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Ogdoadic spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effective Naya the Ogdoadic Remnant once per turn. Given that we're only running 3 of the Dark, I'm running 2 of the Light, which is Nunu the Ogdoadic Remnant. It's a level 4 Light Reptile. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, send 1 Dark Reptile monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you control no monsters, or you control an Ogdoadic monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can also special summon monsters, cannot special summon monsters except Reptile monsters while this card is face up in a monster zone. You can only use each effective Nunu, the Ogdoadic Remnant, once per turn. So, while it is a free special summon out of the graveyard, it does Reptile lock you while it's on board, which can slow down your plays a little bit if you're utilizing an extra deck. Up next, I'm playing the 1 Alert and the 1 Curse. Alert. I'm going to mispronounce their names, and I'm so sorry. But he's a level 8 Dark Reptile. If this card is in your graveyard, you could tribute 1 monster, special summon this card. Then your opponent can add 1 monster from their graveyard to their hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target 2 of your banished monsters, including a reptile monster, return them to the graveyard. You can only use each effective Alert, the Ogdoadic Dark, once per turn. Cruise is another one, which is a level 8 Light Reptile. If this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 1 monster, special summon this card, but then your opponent can special summon 1 monster from their graveyard, but negates effects. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Ogdoadic monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effective Cruise, the Ogdoadic Light, once per turn. You're basically going to be utilizing their effects to really work with the level 4s, so you can get them on board, recycle them, and further your plays. Now, for the rest of the 1-ofs for the Ogdoadic lineup, I got 1 Omnesia, the Ogdoadic Queen, 1 Aaron, the Ogdoadic King, 1 Ogdoabyss, the Ogdoadic Overlord, and 1 Nephilibis, the Ogdoadic Overlord. The fun part about Queen and King, these two in particular, they're both level 8s, but different attributes. 1 is light and 1 is dark. Queen is dark, King is light. For the Queen, if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 2 monsters, special summon this card. If a monster is special summoned from your opponent's graveyard, except during the damage step, you can send 1 card they control to the graveyard. If a monster is sent from your opponent's hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 light or dark reptile monster from your graveyard, except Omnesia, the Ogdoadic Queen. So this lets you get a free revival off of 1 of the monsters that you want to utilize in your graveyard. While Aaron, if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 2 monsters, special summon this card. If your opponent adds a card to their hand, except during the draw phase or damage step, you can send 1 random card from their hand to the graveyard. If a monster your opponent controls is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 light or dark reptile from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Aaron, the Ogdoadic King. You can only use each effect of Aaron once per turn. So while we have a board sent, like you just send a monster on board and rip a card out of an opponent's hand, it helps greatly. They're also decent bodies because one's 2700 attack, the other's 25. But we get to the bigger ones, which are the Overlords, which is Ogdoadic. If this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 3 monsters, special summon this card. Once while this card is face up on the field, quick effect, you send all monsters from the field to the graveyard, except face up special summon monster, except for face up monster special summon from the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Ogdoadic, the Ogdoadic Overlord, once per turn. While it's a level 10 light, it does give you the capability of doing a board clear if you need to get over some real troublesome monsters. Nephilim, however, the Ogdoadic Overlord, the other level 10, if a monster is sent from hand or deck to the graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters until the end of the next turn, except reptile monsters. If you control this card that was special summoned from the graveyard, you could target one monster in your graveyard except Nephilim, the Ogdoadic Overlord, and special summon it. So this can further help you extend by getting out the Ogdoadic or one of the other two, which is the Queen or King, so you can further your plays and extend through that. The main capabilities of these are just basically playing through the graveyard, being able to recycle back whatever you need, and the fun part is you can use them for Mitsurugi ritual components because their levels are either 8 or 4, so depending on what you need to do, you can get them into the graveyard pretty easily to start your plays. Next, for the Mitsurugi engine, I'm playing 3 Mitsurugi no Mikoto Aramasa. If this card is normal or special summon, or if this card is tributed, you can add 1 Mitsurugi monster from your deck to your hand except Mitsurugi no Mikoto Aramasa. If another reptile monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute this card instead. You can only use each effect of Mitsurugi no Mikoto Aramasa once per turn. While it's a level 4 dark reptile, it has a lot of capability of getting you really just any Mitsurugi monster that you need from your deck. Speaking of which, we're playing 3 no Mikoto Saji. If this card is normal or special summon, or if this card is tributed, you can add 1 Mitsurugi spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If another reptile monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute this card instead. So this gives you some extra battle protection, or just in general, if it would be destroyed overall, it would be greatly used just to keep your monsters on board if you're using your other reptiles that you want to keep on board. Same way with Mitsurugi no Mikoto Aramasa. And of course, we're playing the 1 Kusanagi. It's another level 4 Dark Reptile. If this card is normal or special summon, or if it is tributed, you can target 1 Mitsurugi card in your graveyard or banishment, except Kusanagi, add it to your hand. If another reptile monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute this card instead. So while they have the same effect at the end, where basically if a dark reptile monster or another reptile monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute that card to trigger its effect during your opponent's turn. It helps out greatly. For the rituals, however, we're playing 3 Ame, 1 Futsu, and 1 Ame no Murakumo. Ame no Habakiri. You can ritual summon this card with Mitsurugi Ritual. Monsters your opponent controls lose 800 attack. You can reveal this card in hand. Special summon 1 Mitsurugi monster from your deck, then tribute 1 monster you control. You can only use this effect of Ame no Hamakiri once per duel. If this card is tributed, you can add 1 Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand, except Ame no Habakiri. Then special summon this card. So, thankfully, when it's tributed, even for the ritual summon of another one, you can revive it back. If it's tributed for, say, an Ogdoadic effect, you can summon it back and trigger the effect to add a Mitsurugi card you would like in hand. Same goes for Mitama and Murakumo. The fun one about Mitama is the effect of, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, except during the damage step, you can target 1 reptile monster in your graveyard, except Futsu no Mitama no Mitsurugi, special summon it. You can only activate this effect once per chain. If this card is tributed, you can add 1 Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand. Then you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Futsu once per turn. The fun part is it's a 3400 body on the board, so it's 3400 defender. So it does give you a little bit of protection during the battle phase, and if it's tributed, you get to revive it back. Ame no Murakumo is a really fun one as well because it's basically a Raigeki. Because if this card is special summoned, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can activate this effect. Your opponent can discard one card or that effect is negated. If this card is tributed, you can add one Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand, except Ame no Murakumo no Mitsurugi. Then you can special summon this card. While this also gives you some capability of setting up a bit of interruption and interaction, it does give you the capability to board wipe if you need to. And while I did only specify that Habakiri can be ritual summoned with Mitsurugi Ritual, the other two are able to be ritual summoned with Mitsurugi Ritual as well. For the last 4 monsters of the deck that I'm playing 3 Ragnaraka Wicked Butterfly and 1 Reptilian Codal. I know a lot of people are like, well, why are you playing a level 4 insect in this deck? Well, the main reason of it is because you can discard this card, special summon insect, plant, or reptile monster from your hand. If this card is banished from your hand or graveyard, you draw cards during the end phase of this turn equal to the number of different monster types among the monsters you control that are insect, plant, or reptile. So basically, we just discard it to activate the effect to special summon a monster from our hand, which can further help us get another monster on board to trigger its effects, such as getting a monster, getting a spell, getting a trap, anything along those lines. Reptilian Codal is our level 4 tuner, which can help us get into our synchro package if we ever go that way, but it's also a fun one because if you control a dark reptile monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If your opponent controls any monster with 0 attack, you can special summon up to an equal number of reptilian monsters. Doesn't really matter. But if this card you control would be used for synchro material for a reptile monster, it could be treated as a non-tuner. It's perfectly fine as well. But the main reason that we're summoning it is because we can then go and use it as an extra body for tributing, or just as a functional way of, like I said, once we get more familiar with the deck, into getting a extra deck that allows us a level 8 or rank 4 play. But those are all the monsters that I'm currently playing for the main deck. For the spells, this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of people are going to judge me for this, but I don't care because I enjoy this deck build because I'm playing 3 Lair of Darkness. All face-up monsters on the field become dark. Once per turn, if you tribute a monster you control to activate a card effect, you can tribute 1 dark monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Once per turn during the end phase, special summon as many torment tokens, Fiend Dark level 3, attack 1000, defense 1000 as possible to the turn player's field in defense position up to the number of monsters tributed this turn while this card is face up. So basically, it allows us to tribute over any kind of troublesome monsters our opponent has that we just don't want to deal with, just to summon really any of our Ogdoadic big boy monsters, anything along those lines. So we can get out, say, Curse by tributing one of our opponent's monsters. We can get out Eilert, Aaron, Curse, Amnesia, or Ogdo Abyss. While giving that capability of when we're tributing, if we can't get enough bodies on board, we can at least use the tokens as defenders. Next up, of course, since it's a reptile deck that uses the graveyard a lot, we're playing 3 Snake Rain. We're able to discard 1 card and send 4 reptile monsters from the deck to the graveyard. So, the capability of this is allowing us to fill up our graveyard by sending cards that we either A, don't want in our hand, or B, that can activate in the graveyard to further our plays. Then, of course, next I'm playing the 2 Ogdoadic Water Lily. This just allows us to send 1 reptile monster from our deck to the graveyard. Then if you have 5 or more reptile monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon 1 reptile monster from your graveyard. You can only activate 1 Ogdoadic Water Lily once per turn. Note, I did say 1 reptile. It is not specific to Ogdoadic. So if you have 4 Ogdoadics in the graveyard and you send a Mitsurugi card, you can revive the Mitsurugi monster that you want to summon to trigger off its effects. Next, I'm also playing 2 Super Poly. So this is where we're going to be seeing our points coming into play, which is, if I remember correctly, 20 points in total for these 2 Super Poly. Right now, since I don't have the extra deck, it doesn't really work, but I'm working on getting some basic fusions such as Garura and the Swamp Dragon to fill out those slots. Next, one Mitsurugi Ritual. This one is 60 points. This card is an insane ritual card, which benefits this deck so very well. This card can be used to be ritual summon any reptile ritual monster. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Mitsurugi Ritual once per turn. Ritual summon one reptile ritual monster from your deck by attributing reptile monsters from your hand or field, whose level is equal to total level of the ritual monster. Or you can ritual summon one reptile monster from your hand by attributing up to 2 reptile monsters from your hand, deck, or field, whose levels equal the level of the ritual monster. So, being able to either utilize materials from your deck or ritual summon a monster that you want onto the board sooner than later, just from the deck, can help out greatly, while also filling your graveyard with either the Ogdoadic cards or triggering off your Mitsurugi cards so you can get their effects rolling. Next up, we have the one Mitsurugi Great Purification. When your opponent activates a card or effect, tribute one level 5 or higher reptile monster, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one reptile monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, tribute one other monster you control. You can only use one Mitsurugi Great Purification effect per turn and only once that turn. So basically, it's just a great way of getting a negate and being able to trigger off, say, Amino Murakumo effect. So basically, you tribute it off, it special summons itself back, board nukes as well. While I did skip right into the one trap we're playing, we are playing 3 other spells, which are Mitsurugi Sacred Boundary, Mitsurugi Magatama, and Mitsurugi Mirror. Sacred Boundary is a continuous spell which very much helps with the actual consistency of the deck because your opponent cannot target Mitsurugi ritual monsters you control with effects of monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck. You can target 4 Mitsurugi cards in your graveyard except Mitsurugi Sacred Boundary, shuffle them into the deck, then if your opponent controls a monster, make them tribute one monster their choice that they control. You can only use this effect of Mitsurugi Sacred Boundary once per turn, so it gets some recovery and capability of getting our ritual back into the actual deck, whether that be the ritual spell or monsters that we're wanting to utilize. Magatama is basically tribute one reptile monster, then target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it, or it functions as another way to ritual summon a Mitsurugi ritual monster that you need that's in your hand. This way you can interact during your opponent's turn and ritual summon during their turn as it's a quick play effect. Then finally the actual one ritual spell that is not ritual, Mitsurugi Mirror. This card can be used to ritual summon any reptile ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. You must also tribute reptile monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster. If Ame no Murakumo, Futsu no Mitama, or Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi you control is tributed while this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck. So you have a capability of recurring it even natively since you're ritual summoning one of those 3 to summon it. But at this point in time, this is all I have for the actual deck. Do note that given that if you're wanting to run a more main deck component and not want to run these, there is one card that I would recommend running to cut for the Super Polys in general if you're just wanting to run a main board experience. If you're wanting to run a main board experience, what you can utilize is either 2 Torrential Tribute, 2 DD Crow, or if you want to be funny, you can run 2 Dark Hole or 2 Raigeki. Either way, they will cost you some points, but I do recommend Super Poly since I'm going to be going with a more of a wider arrangement of monsters for the extra deck once I get those in. But I was really excited to show this to you guys either way, and I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you guys did, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I'll have more information on this deck once I get the extra deck built, and I'll do another video on it. I'll even look into doing a actual test hands video showing how the deck actually operates and what it can do. But until that happens, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings? from all the dealings. Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?